shaky cam time. um, I won't go into any other details right now, but for the first time since it started, I finally caught COVID, which did not make me happy at all, because we did, the general precautions that we were doing for all these years, and I got it. So some personal stuff happened that I was unable to attend because I've been in the basement since Thursday night with COVID, and today is Sunday, and I might not be able to attend some family stuff tomorrow because I still have symptoms, and I haven't tested myself since Thursday because you don't get over it that quickly, but I'll test myself later. But what I have here is I decided to, and this is, some people really like this thing. I thought it was nice that I got to see it built after, come on, thank you. It was nice that, okay, so let's just start from the beginning. This is, I'm taking apart what I loved to call DD Mobile 2. It was the second base ship for if Jake, Pete, and I went on to do a second or third movie of Lego Wars. And so I started designing the big baddie ship on graph paper. This is like 1985, 1986. And then of course I converted those graph paper diagrams into, so I would graph each level and what pieces I needed, and then I would I copied those into I think the program's called Doodle on a Commodore 64. And if you saw my old videos, I can't remember when I put them out there, but I showed you all the Doodle drawings and the graph paper drawings and the actual ship when I finished it. And it was nice. It was good seeing it together in the real life instead of in my head since I was like 15. But it was big, which was the original plan. And what happened was, as I built that thing a while back, as I kept going building other stuff for other things, and I kept on running out of parts that I knew were in, and I actually borrowed some parts from the layout to finish the DD Mobile 2. And then I did a show, realized that I didn't have those pieces, and I said that just infuriated me. So I started taking pieces off the DD Mobile 2, and to the point where it was just like looking like a decimated, abandoned ship out there in the airplane junkyard. So I said, Sandy and I were cleaning up the basement on Thursday when I found that I had COVID, but before I found that out, I had, because that's where the ship was on display in the rec room, and I said, I have to take this thing apart anyway. And she was actually quite shocked, and I'm not faulting her for that, because I did love it, and I did design it when I was like 15. But it was already decimated. It was missing a lot of parts off of it. It was pretty junky, and it takes up a lot of space for it just to sit there. So I started taking it apart today while I still have COVID and I'm still hanging out in the basement. And so here we got the vast array of quote unquote basic pieces. And I will say this, there would have been, when I was 15, 16 years old, there would have been absolutely no way I could have built this ship at all. It wouldn't even be close. I wouldn't have been able to build a quarter of this ship at the time without making it look like a multicolored rainbow. But even then, I never would have been able to completely build this. Because like, when you look at even that, 6x24s, I think it's a 24s, even bigger. I knew they existed, because I had some in red. But the fact that I needed some of that, and the wing plates alone, I can't remember exactly how many wing plates are in this thing, just 100,000 wing plates, and then lots of these guys. Like I think I needed 16 of these guys or whatever. Like there's just no way I would have been able to build this back then. So I had to wait until I got my age now. And after collecting lots for all those years, and I finally got to build it. And even then, I will say this, even then, I had run out of these guys. Now, again, had I taken apart other sets that I have in storage, I would have been able to complete this thing with all the blue. But I actually substituted 5 or 6 black for this. So I couldn't even finish this my original build with the colors I chose back then. Now, and so like, you know, my collection let me down. Well, it really didn't, but I'll say that. So I was just in the process of taking this thing apart, and I did that time lapse that you saw at the beginning of this. And I decided to give you an overview of what we have here. Some basic 2x bricks, some very few hinge pieces, lots of plates, lots of 1x bricks, lots of slopes, which I really enjoyed. But the one thing I definitely did not have when I was a kid was dozens of these 2x16 plates. And when I designed the ship, the 2x16 was already released, I think. I can't remember if the first 2x16 plate I got was in the 6971, or is that even this 2x16? It might have been 2x10. I honestly can't remember now. That's odd. Anyway, I don't have a 6971 set up, but these things did exist in the mid 80s. They came in a few sets, and I needed dozens of them in black and some in gray, and sometimes very, very dark gray. And I definitely didn't have those when I mean, look at them all. And that's not even all of them. I needed lots of 2x16s. So I designed this thing without the parts in my collection at the time. And it was sitting there in a file folder in my Lego collection, in my Lego book, and my Lego paperwork, you know, with the letters from the Lego company, and the times I got published from my good and dear friends who, you know, hey Dave, you want to be published? Sure. So, let me write up something pithy, and you know, I'm here to help. You know, I'm not one for self-aggrandizing. I am not one for self-aggrandizing, but when a friend calls me up and says, Dave, I'm going to write you up. I want you to write up a little article. Sure. I love writing. So I'll absolutely write something up. So I got like a box full of paperwork from my various time with this hobby. And one of it is a folder that contained all my blueprints of this, and I'm so glad I got to build it. And I'm actually not even sad right now. Like I would thought this would be like a poignant, kind of like a sad, melancholy experience. So it could be the COVID talking, and I'm getting the stuffy nose again. It could be the but I'm not feeling melancholy at all. I got to see it, and it was at the same time more impressive in the physical world than I would have surmised when I was 15, and yet vastly disappointing to me, considering the advances of building techniques over the last 40 years. And that's 100% expected. This is not like, oh wow, this is like astute. No. but I was happy to see it finished. But I'm also happy to see it rolled back into the collection because it was just going to take up dust. I was never going to bring it to a show. I was always taking parts and pieces off of it. And I am downsizing. I keep on talking about this. And the more I roll into the collection, the more I get my stuff sorted out, the easier it is for me to figure out what I'm going to downsize. And this is a big step, is getting rid of stuff that is just taking up space. And this thing took up a lot of space. I'm going to say that for sure. This thing took up a lot of space. And again, it's not a detriment, but it is a bit, I'm not feeling sad at all. I mean, I'm not happy and dancing for joy. And again, as we always say, if we had a bigger house, but we don't have a bigger house. And again, I've always said, I don't want that. I don't want the house to become my Lego display area. That's never been my point or want or desire that Lego take over the entire house. And so Sandy and I got rid of a lot of stuff in this past week, right before I got sick. A lot of stuff going to Value Village. Here's a quick tangent. I had a tote full of books, which I've read numerous times, and I talked about this before. Why am I storing it? Why don't I just let the bookstore store it? Because every time I walk into a used bookstore, those books are still there. Because they're not like the obscure Flint and Flux stuff. This is like Asimov and Clark, which I've read numerous times, and yet these books have been sitting in a tote for ages, and they just sit there on a shelf, taking up space. And so all those are going to Valley Village. And I also had in that tote just a bin full of cables, going back to, I won't say the Commodore 64 era, but still 5-pin DINs. If you know what a 5-pin DIN cable is, I applaud you. And actually, I can't remember what I was doing the other day, but I said, "Oh, I really wish I had a serial cable or a null modem cable, because I was programming switches." So I didn't have any of the Commodore 64 cables, but I had some old, I won't say 286 cables, but back to that generation and on past that, and just a ton of just micro USB cables, and all the USB cables that connected to printers and drives back then, just cables and cables and cables. I can't even tell you how many HDMI cables I had in that tote. Like, how many HDMI cables do I need? So, especially when everything else is connected, so maybe 1 or 2 spares, but not like 15, 15 HDMI cables. Because every time I buy a monitor or whatever, it comes with an HDMI, and I use DisplayPort and stuff like that. So anyway, I cleaned up all that stuff, and during the process, we looked on top of the shelves, and I saw this thing, and I brought it in here, and tonight is the night I took it apart. So we are downsizing, we are cleaning up, we are going to put everything in keep or get rid of pile. And this also includes the Lego collection. But right now it's on hold since Thursday because, hey guys, I got COVID. Um, I'm feeling better today than I did on Friday and Saturday. You might hear it in my voice because my nose is all stuffed up. But it has been an interesting experience. It's not the flu, it's not a cold, it's kind of, I'm feeling better today. I'm feeling, actually, because I've been down here being a troll in the basement. So my rest of my family are still testing negative, so they don't get sick. So I'm hiding out in the basement. And Sandy and I have a system where she just drops stuff at the bottom of the stairs on the little shelf we have there, and then I come and grab it when she goes back upstairs. So there's no cross contamination. But I think it was Friday or Saturday. Like I woke up. I intermittent sleeping and waking up. Like, I don't think I was awake more than 2 hours, and I don't think I slept for more than 2 hours like the entire day. I was like sleep, break, sleep, wake, sleep, wake, sleep, wake. But and I was taking Tylenol to help and it wasn't debilitating pain, but basically every muscle in my body, at least what felt like every muscle in my body, felt like I just got through an endurance test, including muscles I didn't even know I had. And the worst ones I found, I have my hips, which are really, really sore, uncomfortable, my knees, whatever. But my cheekbones, the muscles, right, if you push on your cheekbone and you feel those muscles right on your cheekbone, those muscles hurt. And I go, what is that? Like, I've never ever had those muscles hurt me before like that. Like, if you walk out in the cold, like in a winter day, and it's minus 40 outside, and you're not wearing a scarf across your face, you get that frostbite on those cheekbones. But this was the muscles themselves saying, why are we running a marathon? And I'm going, I've never felt that before in my life, but it was like that all over my body. And that, Sandy gave me 2 Tylenols. And then that muscle fatigue went away. And so I've been taking Advil and Tylenol sporadically over the last 4 days. I don't feel the fatigue now. I don't feel the muscle discomfort now. I do have sporadic coughing fits that just come right out of nowhere. It's a very dry cough. There's no phlegm anymore. not like it was the other day, but every once in a while I'll just have this coughing fit just come right out of the blue. And it's like 5 seconds of 5 seconds, 50 seconds of coughing. And then it just stops. And I'm going, that's never happened to me before either. Because I sometimes, but everybody gets a coughing fit every so often for no real reason. But it's once. This happens literally every couple hours. So that's odd. But I do feel better today than I did on Thursday. Oh, look at, I didn't notice that. That guy's broken. There's something pushed in on that guy there. Yes, every once in a while you come across a piece in your collection that says, poor guy. Like that. That's like, you have a cough every once in a while. Everybody has a cough like that, but this will last like 50 seconds to a minute. But anyway, I am fine. This is Sunday night. I'm dropping this Monday morning. So you guys, this is all last week, all those videos were filmed basically the week before. So a lot has happened since my last video. Many things have happened in my personal life, including the COVIDs, which had a debilitating effect on me able to be there for my family at this time. But it is what it is. Anyway, I won't talk about that right now. I hope everybody out there is doing well. I want everybody out there to take care, stay safe. I'm not going to get into, it's not a rant. Sandy and I did overall try to avoid catching COVID since COVID started. We listened to the experts and we did quote unquote everything correctly without going over and above to the nth degree. And do I agree that we got a little lax in the mask wearing? Yeah, because basically everybody did. I don't know where I got this from, but I have a good guess where I got this from because of what was going on last week. And I was only home in one other place the entire week. So it's kind of hard not to get the idea that I got it. But allegedly, COVID can take a couple more days, like 3 to 5 days before you actually start seeing symptoms. So if it was from last weekend, we were doing other stuff too. But anyway, I'm not going to go into that right now. There it is again. So I'm going to get off this. Everybody out there, stay safe. Take care of yourselves. Take care of your loved ones. Sandy is taking very good care of me from a distance. And I will talk to you guys soon.